too long? I knew I couldn't finish. Well, do you want to open it to questions then?
Yeah, if you don't mind, if there's anyone got any question for Mr. Oxford. No one? You lucked out. Yeah, you was ready. That's the way it is. You come prepared. No one. Oh, okay. Just a minute. Jim Thompson has a question for you.
Jim Thompson, I would just like to hear Mr. Oxford's response to the same question that Evelyn asked to John, because all of us see and go to and travel through the downtown area, and I'd just like to know if your feelings on those issues are any different.
Much of it is the same. I am 100% in favor of growth, but managed, structured, secure growth of this or any other city. And I have to tell you in all candor, I am not a politician, so I'm going to be almost brutally honest with you. I was not on the council at the time Main Street decisions were made, but I did start attending council meetings before I even finished moving. And I spoke against that project for the very reasons that I'm about to tell you. One, it's too narrow. John mentioned that. The other was that the council at that time set up a grant program, which was not federal funds, not state funds. It was out of our back pockets, and up to $15,000 per building. And it could be either the property owner or the merchant. And there was an ultimate total limit to it. But I had a problem with that, and I still do conceptually. I don't think the average citizen in Sulphur Springs has a responsibility to pull money out of their pockets to give to someone else who owns business that's there for a profit, nor for the merchant who is there for a profit. They should make it go, and I'll explain that another way. We, as a city government, this one and every other city that I've had anything to do with, and I've been a part of 3 of them now, have a responsibility and the authority to condemn property. Some little old lady or little old gentleman, and by the way, I came upon quite a few of these by total accident when the senior center was delivering them to their home 1 meal for the day. And that may have been the only meal they had that day. But to fast forward sort of, if that person, as unable physically and financially as they may be, is unable to repair, maintain their building, the city does have the power to condemn it and require it to be brought up to standard, so to speak. And if it doesn't happen within some reasonable period of time, the city has the power to go in and doze it and then put a lien on the property. If we have that power and the potential of actually doing that to a private citizen, why would we not do it to people who have property for profit? I don't expect an answer. I'm just telling you my position. And I mean that, and I'm sincere about it. I don't want to see any of it done, but the power is there. Now, as for Main Street specifically, it is too narrow. I don't know how many dozens of mirrors have been knocked off of particularly dually wheeled trucks. By the way, the expert who came here to speak about the issue of revitalizing downtown, after about 3 days of people talking about dually trucks down on Main Street, he says, finally he had the nerve to ask, what is a dually? I thought, and he's here to advise us? I had a problem with that too. I don't know if that answered your question, but if you want it more specific, I'll try to get to the specific point that you wanted to know.
I just wanted to give you an opportunity to address the same question.
Okay.
Find out where you're coming from.
All right, sir. Thank you.
Okay, is there anyone else? Any questions for Mr. Oxford? Okay. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
For coming.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Okay, now we're going to move to the school board trustees. We've got 5 people running for, what, 2 positions? Which is sort of odd. We normally don't see that much activity, and so it's interesting. But what I've done is real technical. I've wrote out numbers on 5 slips of paper and give them out to the candidates and let them draw for them. And except Mr. Chubb, he was the last one in, so he got the last deal. We sort of ganged up on him. But what I'm going to do is just I'm going to sit down. I want you candidates to come up and talk one at a time, and then go sit back down, and then when everyone is through, we'll take questions. And we're going to start with whoever it was got number 1. Who, I believe, Reverend Nash, I believe you were the one that got number 1. If you will, identify yourself for Mr. Bradford, his take.
Thank you. I never draw number 1. Usually, I speak from my heart, which what I mean by that is from the acquired knowledge, from the place where I think, where I feel, and make my decisions. But this is a different situation, and therefore, this is this different situation. So therefore, I wrote a few things down, and will be very brief. First of all, I want to express my appreciation and respect to the current Board of Trustees of our independent school district. My name is Harold Nash, and I am a candidate for the Sulphur Springs Independent School District Board of Trustees. I'm not here as a Democrat or a Republican. I'm here as a citizen, and I'm running as a citizen. I was born in Sulphur Springs and received my preparation for higher education right here in Sulphur Springs at Douglas Elementary and Sulphur Springs High School. I made pretty good grades, and I was an athlete, a 3-letter athlete in football, and ran track and basketball, that good stuff. A lot of fun that I had, and the memories that I have of Sulphur Springs High School give me chills even now. My parents were very poor people. Gladys and Olivia Nash, and a lot of people know them. They were what we call good people. I had 9 siblings, 6 brothers and 2 sisters. Our family has been here since 1818, and the first member of the family came over in slavery. I am a product and an example of what one or anyone can do when they are taught and encouraged and they work hard and maintain integrity among all people. In 6 days, I will celebrate my 37th anniversary to my one and only love of my life, my wife, Swanese. We have 37 years. We have 3 adult sons, Tron, Harold Jr., and Brandon, all living and working in Dallas in the Metroplex. We have 1 daughter who is junior at Sulphur Springs High School. She's an AB student and a 2-year member of the legendary Blue Blazes. Her name is Miyoshi. We call her Mimi, and she certainly has all of me, and that will be plain and easy for anyone to see when we're together. I am a retired professional broadcast engineer with degrees in electronic engineering and business administration. Also, you call me Reverend. I said I'm a citizen. I have much education in theology. I worked in the TV industry for over 35 years. 30 of those years, I was in management. 28 of those years, I was the top manager as chief engineer. I had the responsibilities of the chief, and that's a whole nother story. My background as a manager in the private sector is extensive. I had much training. The last company that owned our television station was General Electric, and they must have spent $10,000 a year on education on their managers. So I learned a lot before I retired. Took all of that all of that information that I got in those last 5 years from General Electric and retired. I had a wonderful career. Believe me, the work was challenging, but it was fun, and I had a ball. Simultaneously with my secular career, I was licensed as a minister, ordained as a pastor, and I have spent 36 years of my life mostly volunteering to serve in many aspects of Christian ministry. And I can go on and on about that. That's not what I'm about, and that's enough of that. I'm driven into this candidacy in the same manner that I was driven into accepting my call in the Christian ministry. I serve and have served people in and out of the communities that I have lived in, and it is not or has not been for recognition, but to do what I believe I was born and raised to do, and that is to serve. I'm a servant who leads people to serve people. I'm in a unique position to serve as school board trustee. I'm in a unique position to unite rather than to divide, and to do it proactively. I live daily to be an example of integrity and accountability to those that I serve. Everything that I've done in the community has been on a volunteer basis, not just at my church. I'm involved in outreach and have been for years. Outreach to youth, outreach to young adults, to the nursing homes, to the hospitals, working with pastors in the city and the county, volunteering in the jail and in prisons all over the state, supporting our local law and legal system by establishing community programs such as Brothers Against Drugs, with summer work program and community events in Pacific Park. Just the other day, we had a terrible tragedy in our city where a young man was stabbed to death. And I came out of the pulpit and I went to the scene because the person we thought was alive but was dead, his mother's a member of my church. So I left the pulpit. I didn't know that I would be involved in bringing organization and order to that scene, because the scene was horrific. And the people, especially the young people, were out of control. And they were about to break the police lines and interfere with the investigation. But because I've established a presence with them and a respect from them, because I respect them, I was able to help the police get that scene in order so that they could do their work, so that they could solve, that they could bring integrity to this crime scene.